Korea as we enter our final matchup of the night. Another PVT. Will it be this time Deer versus INnoVation? INnoVation, the king on top. Deer, the big challenger, looking better these days. But he did just take his recent loss against Classic, so he's going to have to bounce off of that.
That's right. He also did fall out of the GSL, losing the final match and falling out 1 and 2. This is his only tournament left, and he is 2-1. Could actually try to pass INnoVation here. The winner, of course, will move up with a 3-1 score with Classic after his loss against Stats today. I feel like Deer really came into this season strong, and a lot of people, as Artosis was actually talking about at the GSL, were saying he was one of the best pros. A lot of pros are saying this guy deserves more respect than he's getting right now based on his performances in scrims, on the ladder, and sure, INnoVation has the massive advantage, and you would call him the favorite for sure. Anyone would, but he lost a game to Dark, so not invincible anymore. And Deer, sure, he lost his GSL group, but that's just one group. That's 1 day of matches. I think this could be the best series of the night. It could go either way, but I still have to give the edge to INnoVation myself.
Yeah, that is who we voted for in After Hours. It's kind of hard to vote against INnoVation nowadays, obviously, but Deer looking better and better. Did take out Maru. Maru didn't have any sneaky builds for Deer that time around, and he did take out Stats. We were all... Well, I don't know if all of us were, but we were predicting him to get the win against Classic too, but then Classic totally shut him down. So this guy still is better. He's on the up and up. He is better than the Deer that we were seeing in 2016, the guy who was very inconsistent. He still has some small problems with inconsistency. I can't actually read those signs because they're sideways. Okay, there you go. Okay, they said they're the guy before, the Canada gnome, or like that Canada guy. I don't really know how to translate that. The younger sisters of that guy. So there you go. We found it out. But either way, this is INnoVation. Looking pretty good still, even after that loss.
INnoVation has been allowed to do everything he wants this season. Has just looked untouchable. Sure, he lost the series to Dark. The run-bys were real in the ZVT matchup. It's always been Dark's strongest matchup, one of INnoVation's weaker ones if he doesn't get those perfect timings down. Well, let's see what Deer wants to bring to the table. Will it be Phoenix Adept? Are we going to see some crazy Immortal all-ins? Deer is a more flexible player in this matchup than INnoVation is. I think we're going to see mostly bio timings from INnoVation. Maybe a Widowmine drop through in there here or there. The map pool for this is going to be Abyssal Reef, Odyssey, and then Ascension to Ire. So we're jumping into Abyssal Reef for game number 1.
Abyssal Reef, a nice defensive map, a big one. We'll see who can get the advantage. Jumping into game number 1 of INnoVation versus Deer. Fly better fly, Jin Air. Down here in the bottom right, the yellow Protoss, it is Deer.
His opponent to the top left in blue, it is INnoVation. Found himself in 2nd place after the loss to Dark. And if he wins today with any score, he will actually pass Classic based off of map score. They'll both be at 3-1, but if he wins the series, he will take 1st place away from him, at least for today. We'll see the gas first from INnoVation, which lends towards drop play. So we got people here from France, and it is INnoVation's birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday from France. And
Team Kiku Lol.
Yeah.
Shout out to that. Some cool drawings in the bottom right, too.
So we all got INnoVation gifts from INnoVation's fan club today. And it's his birthday, so that's an extra added factor to all this. Well, it is tomorrow, but today's 1 day away from it. That's why they brought him gifts today. It's actually 24 in Western age today.
He's getting old.
He's getting older.
He's growing old. For a StarCraft player, I guess.
Yeah, for a StarCraft player, that is getting quite old.
But he's better than ever, as he is on top by himself, basically. We'll see if he can... It would be crazy if he just won 2 SSLs in a row and made a good run in GSL at the same time.
He did get out of his group with a 4-1 score. Did play very, very well there. Dropped the 1 game to Scarlet, but that was Scarlet's good play and INnoVation's weakness in certain aspects of TVZ as we talk about. But yeah, I mean, he could do so if he wins. If he wins the SSL and he wins the GSL, and then if he wins BlizzCon after that, you know, that's one of those times where you have to consider the B word again, pulling it out. But that's a lot of ifs. But he does look to be the biggest and best candidate for that right now with his performances we've seen. There's going to be Stargate play from Deer, so surprise, surprise. He's going to take the standard build for the map, Phoenix Adept. INnoVation does have this factory finishing up now, but got the fast CC with this gas. We'll drop down the starport, and we'll see if he makes Widow Mines. Yep, first one is on the way. So both reasons, like, Widow Mines are strong against the Oracle Phoenix if you can get them in at a crisp timing. And if it's Oracles, then they don't have enough Phoenixes for lifts and clears of them. You don't have detection. It's the same kind of argument that we were talking about with Banshees. It's just more consistent. It's less gimmicky. You can make it from your main base and still make it viable. But we'll see if he can make this happen here. This is actually nearly a killed Adept. Did get the 1 Marine. Wanted to get the Scout of the Widow Mine. Was unsuccessful.
Yeah, good lift there at the end. INnoVation himself going for a Scout. See if he can do it. That Widow Mine almost hit the Adept, meanwhile, at the front. INnoVation still unsuccessful of getting a Scout, but he's coming around the right side, and I think this will be his big chance. The Oracle, there is already 1 out, with the second one on the way, but he should be able to get the Scout if he moves in. Looks like he's just going to see the Oracle and get 1 probe, so
yeah,
good work.
Gets a kill, too. He's actually making the Widow Mine defensively because he got a Viking. He's going to have the answer to the first Oracle that's coming across the map. He already scouted it. Gets the burrow off here. No detection.
Look
Unfortunately,
at this
not where he wants it.
This is such a cheeky play. He's like, hey, you got any Widow Mines? Let me proc it with just the 1 probe. And that's really cool. At the same time, it's exactly 3 Adepts to 1 shot an SCV. So the way that Deer is playing nowadays is, I say it again, he just looks so practiced. And when you practice this much, that's when you think about crazy little things like this. The very small things that can net you wins against a good player like INnoVation.
Well, look at this. No Widow Mine here. The Viking is there, but it's just not able to do the damage quick enough. There's no Marines here.
What is going on? 12 kills, 13 kills, 14, make it 15 almost. It's just going to be 14, but that is crazy damage. INnoVation down to just 24.
Look at this micro. He's going to fight the Marines. Not going to be good enough to take the win there. That much is for sure. But
that's almost game-breaking.
I mean, it very well may be, because we saw the commitment to Widow Mine tech, right? With the gas first. Stims late now. He didn't drop Widow Mines. He only kept the 1 at home, which wasn't anywhere near the army. It was scouted. It was in an awkward position. Then the Viking wasn't enough to ward the Oracle away, because he needs Marines and the Viking. Now he's going to use this weakened Oracle to big stasis wards, while the new Oracle with 75 energy and full shields and health is going to come in for another pass in the main base, knowing the Widow Mine was last seen in the natural. Just going to kill these Marines, which he weakened earlier, by the way. Targeting down that weakened SCV, that was the 15th. He got it. And
4 more kills. Can he make it 5?
I mean, this is basically game ending at this stage.
It's 55 to 28. And you might be like, oh, okay, Mules, no. I mean, it's only two orbitals. Already a 3rd Nexus is up for Deer. He's adding all of his gateways. This one is a done deal, guys, and it came from some pretty crazy micro and INnoVation not respecting the Oracles there in this game.
INnoVation has 1 chance, and this is it. If he does not snowball with this, I mean, look, we saw the huge Artosis pile in there in the main base. If he can't snowball with this push right now, kill a bunch of workers, kill a bunch of the army units, because he has this tiny window before those gateways are done, then it's lights out. No 3rd CC, no follow-up whatsoever. He doesn't even have stim. By the time he unloads these units, he still won't have it. And Deer is already looking to scout this. Scouts it, can tag it. Tag it and bag it, man. It's dead. It's over.
Tag it and bag it. He's just following it. He's like, okay. Are you going to drop? Are you really going to drop? You said this was the one chance, and he knows it too. I mean, he's going to try, but there's not much he can do. Now he'll tag it, as he was saving the energy before.
Okay, pulls the probe. Good cancel here by INnoVation. It's going to go for the deeper one. I don't think Deer is looking. Nope. That's actually one way back into this game. It's not going to be the massive kills, but 3 is decent. Combat shield's done, stim done, and the +1. It doesn't have as much of a window of time anymore, though, and time is ticking against him. The Forge is done. He's not using it. Blink is finished. Now the +1 armor is coming.
I mean, Deer already has Void Rays on the map to deal with the follow-up of the Liberators. I mean, this guy is just unbelievable. Like, the reads that he has, the strategies, the small plays, the timings. It's so cool to see. This guy is on fire, you know.
Void Ray in position.
Look at this. I mean, he's like, okay, yeah, go ahead. There's even the one cannon. He's like, sure, try to drop me. Let's see what happens.
Oracle's turned on here. It's pure Marauder. Blink comes in. Drop ships get away. But it's not enough damage. Not really any at all. I'm going to see a warp in here of 2 Adepts. One may just stay to make sure no third base is ever planted. Second one will just wait in the main base. Actually looks like he wants to pick up both. Well, the drops escape. That's one small consolation prize for INnoVation. It's going to be the quadruple drop of Adepts. So spoke too soon earlier. Actually did the full 4 warp in. A lot of these SCVs bruised from before, cleaned up. He's at half the worker count. And I said before that drop was his last chance. He's going to do one more attack, but I don't even think this is a chance. Stasis as well. Liberator's caught. GG.
HH even. He flew out of that game on a Jin Air airplane, no doubt. But guys, it's not
business class.
He was out of there. God, it's not because he's not an amazing player because he went in there and killed INnoVation with, you know, 1 Oracle and got crazy kills. That's not the reason. It's the little things. Again, you know, the probe grouped up with the 3 Adepts. I've never seen that. That's a crazy little play. And he gets nice damage. He distracts at the same time. The timing of the move-in is perfect because he goes in while the Oracle is moving in the back. It sneaks in the back, and all the Marines in the front to deal with the Adepts that were just there. And, you know, this weird, like, oh, he's got a probe. I can't just only defend with Widow Mines. And meanwhile, you know, INnoVation moved that Widow Mine down to the bottom left, too, of the map towards the third base. And Deer saw that, so he's like, he probably doesn't have a Widow Mine in the main.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why, by the way, shout out to the SPO TV camera. But another reason why Deer was able to just walk in there and be like, okay, it's the little things of seeing everything and knowing that, and just the Void Ray, the cannon. He was already so far ahead at that point, but this isn't just, we're not just overhyping this player. It's very obvious that this guy is on a totally new level, and he's looking so good.
And keep in mind, too, the trades, the damage he did with the Oracle, he saved it, he weakened the Marines. The follow-up Oracle attack was much stronger. The Adept warping in the main base, the SCVs he weakened earlier, he targeted them down. It's like you said, it's the little things. His understanding of how many Marines the Adepts could fight there in small numbers. He just knew everything he could do with this build. He saw the weaknesses in INnoVation's play, and he was a killer.
Yeah, even massaging his wrists. I haven't seen him doing that much. Maybe he's practicing a little bit too much. Deer looking really good. Let's jump into game number 2 and see if INnoVation can fight back. Here we go, game number 2 on Odyssey. Up in the top left, the yellow Protoss player looking pretty good. It is Deer.
And down here, the bottom right, in blue, INnoVation getting totally destroyed there in the first game. Had he won it with flying colors, his expression would look the same. So don't be fooled. He's not affected by that loss. Yeah, don't read into it.
He's fine.
He's fine. Well, we'll see if he wants to run the same build here. He is going into the gas first yet again. But Deer was just so calculated every step of the way. I like the way that you describe it. You know, you play so many games. Rumor has he's playing more than everyone else right now on the ladder. You play so many games, and maybe one time he accidentally puts a probe in his control group, and he realizes in that moment on his 1012th game playing the build, wait a minute, I could use this. This probe is expendable. I can avoid the Widow Mines this way. We just really don't see plays like that a lot. It might have been an auto-fly move he made in the game because he accidentally had a probe with his units or it was somewhere else, but either way, he used it well. INnoVation is just, you know, dumbfounded by the attack. And the Viking, he thought, made him safe, but in order to be safe with the Viking, you do engage the Oracle before it's killing your SCVs, not afterwards.
The Viking had just been built, I think, so it was perfect timing, too, to come in at that moment and just not the correct units, not in the correct position for the Terran players. So definitely some things to shore up for INnoVation as well. No doubt he will prepare better against any kind of Stargate build here going into another two-player map. You know, I mean, the Stargate is so standard, it's very expected nowadays that no doubt he'll be ready this time.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like he was ready last time, at least he thought he was, but the way that it was executed by Deer was just better than INnoVation expected, and that was really cool. The follow-up was the most amazing part, right? As you said, with the Adepts, the probe there for the potential triggers, which because the Widow Mine was away, he knew that. He didn't even need to use the probe for trigger. It looks like the probe was fighting in the army. And here comes the first scout for INnoVation. He will verify, at least he should, the Stargate. Last time he just tried to kill a probe, got lucky. The Oracle scouted him, or the Oracle showed himself. He didn't actually confirm this, in fact. Will knock that third base probe away.
Good positioning on the Stargate, down there in the bottom left corner of the main. You know where this Reaper is coming on Odyssey. I mean, it's not really a secret. Right?
Yeah, and if he goes on the natural, then you have an Adept to push it away. And yet again, speaking of Adepts, pushing him away, INnoVation cannot confirm. However, he should reasonably assume, as you said, and when you don't know, it's best to assume that it is the worst case scenario, that it is the Stargate. Sure, it could be DTs or something crazy, but when you're down 0-1 in a series like this, just assume the norm most of the time when you don't have vision.
This Widow Mine, again, going into a weird spot, so it's not going to be in position in the main or the natural to deal with this.
He's hoping to catch the flight path of the Oracle with the Widow Mine to just get the free kill, but because this has become so common in the matchup right now, very few Protoss players are going as the crow flies across the map with their Oracles, and also because he knows that the Oracle is so far unscouted, he doesn't want to fly into any potential scouts in the main base anyways. So as cool of an idea for this, you know, Widow Mine, as INnoVation has given it, as cool of an idea as it is, it's kind of common now. It's been figured out, and it just simply won't be effective in this case. And as you said, the Widow Mine won't be there. The Viking is going to be in better position this time, though, at the edge of the base to catch the Oracle before it triggers. So here it comes. The Viking is... We'll see what part of its patrol it's on. If it's on the edge, it'll be the best case. Look at this. Catches immediately. Good reaction, though, by Deer.
Yeah. Good work. He's going to keep that alive. Oh, he's flying. Oh, okay. Looks like he may have spotted that, so does get out alive. But no kills this time around. Deer, he does keep both of his Oracles alive, which is always very important. But this time we're going to have a real game where, you know, we actually get to macro. Odyssey is another one of these new, bigger two-player maps that's been added in, and we're going to get a real game. You know, Deer, with this build, he did get the very fast third, but that's kind of what just happens in this matchup when it's played in this very standard manner. Just curious to see what INnoVation will do now that he's given the room to play a real game this time.
Yeah, well, he needs to identify the third base came up early. He saw the probe actually that was looking to make the third base very early to the right side of Deer's main base. So he might assume that even though he hasn't gone for a follow-up scout, that it's been made there, or maybe there's one at the 9 o'clock. But he knows the third base was the game plan of Deer. So going for an attack, hitting that, trying to punish that with a larger army. Look at the army supply, by the way, doubling that of Deer because of this risky build. He's going to get away with it and get away with these 6 gateways if no pressure comes anytime soon. But he will still have a window of time where he can hit that third base or hit the main, do some drop play with his larger army. If he does not, however, Deer's base will pay for itself. Deer knows this, and instead of trying to harass the Oracles, he's just using maximum energy to just litter the ground with stasis wards so that when the attack does eventually come across the map, it will be stifled and staggered.
There's 3 right now out on the map, and he's moving out to scout now with the Oracles and move out there. I think there's an observer in position as well. Look at this warp, and this Marine is so smart from INnoVation, is going to scout it and will be ready to go. Big tag on the army, though. That's really nice for Deer to know exactly from which angle this army is going to come in.
There's so many things to deter the attack of INnoVation on the third base now, though. There's the stasis wards. There's the potential of the Adept run by the Prism. The Adept's glaives are finished, plus when attack is finished. There's so many deterrents, including this Revelation, which knows exactly what INnoVation is doing, which means that this move out is even riskier because he knows he's moving out. I can't believe INnoVation would be so confident to move out after seeing these Adepts and knowing he was revealed. Is he going to try to force a base trade with this? Going to be difficult, especially considering those stasis wards are over there.
He avoids it, though. He goes in straight to the natural, so he can't really defend against the Adepts. His main is kind of screwed.
The Widowmine shot, though, is probably going to be amazing. Look at that, to the bottom right of your screen. So many are gone.
The stasis wards, they're really close. He catches 2 of these Widowmines here, too. Oh, doesn't kill either of them, though. INnoVation coming into the natural now, wants to take this fight.
The Widowmine shots in the main base. The Adepts, there's only 3 of them left. You can see to the selection screen to the bottom right. Almost all of them are cleaned up now, but INnoVation still lost almost every SCV. Finally cleans those up. 30 SCVs to 50 now. The third base stands. And INnoVation, he took a gamble, but he lost. His entire army was revealed. This wasn't a risk by Deer. He saw the Adepts. He couldn't deal with them. He wasn't willing to deal with them because he was so behind. The third base had been up for so long, he felt like he needed to move across the map. Adepts or no, but the Adepts were there. They had the vision because of that Revelation. They come in and kill basically every SCV. He still has the larger army, and he kills this Prism. No more counterattacks now. This is when he has to make his last stand. 15 army supply up right now. A strong Terran army, stim, combat shields, a lot of medevacs. The stasis wards, many of them are cleared. Deer is not even willing to try to defend the third. He's going all the way into the main. He knows if he defends this, he wins the game.
Yeah, he's sending his Oracles over to the main to kill the rest of the economy. And he says, okay, we're going to fight here at my natural. That's about it. Another big warp in. And Deer has had this big economy for a very long time. Good splits as he shades in.
Going to try to draw the Widowmine fire into the Terran army. Liberator's not dealt with here. There's not enough anti-air. INnoVation's army is much larger, and it looks like he may have just made this happen. Very careless engagement by Deer. Overconfidence perhaps, but just not enough anti-air. No targeting on the Liberators, and now INnoVation, 62 supply to 10 in army, is just going to snowball this one to victory. That blink that's about finished is not going to save Deer.
Good confidence by INnoVation to take that fight. He says, okay, I know I've done enough damage. Yes, my economy is in tatters, but my army should be much bigger. And he knew that he had to force Deer into a fight right then and there, and he took the perfect timing. Deer, I mean, he's still in this game, but not anymore. GG, INnoVation is going to tie it up.
As soon as the Adepts were cleared, he also took an extra precaution. He made 2 missile turrets in both his natural and his main base. He then also killed the Warp Prism that was around. He found it with his Liberators and blew it up. So he knew that the only way counterattacks were going to happen with those Oracles that he already had prepared for with the missile turrets. He went for the heart, and Deer put his turtle head in his turtle shell, went up into the main base there, but when the Liberators came down, I think perhaps in that moment he panicked, like, ooh, if he gets sieged up here and I'm stuck in my main base, I lose my natural and I lose my third base, and then 1 base against 2. I can't let him to get into this position. I have to fight, but didn't target the Liberators, or if he did, the Liberation targeting was better, knocked out those Stalkers, the last of the sentries, and there wasn't any anti-air, so we're going to game 3. Not a disappointing series as we expected going into the last one of the night.
This has been good. Deer putting up a really good fight. I like what he was doing with his Adepts over there. Even though he got shown, he's like daring INnoVation. He's like, okay, if you want to go try to attack me across this big wide map, I'm going to be ready there with a counterattack. I will shade into your natural. And INnoVation was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And that was a big risk that he took. He did take the necessary precautions, right, with the follow-up attack afterwards, as you were talking about, defending against the Oracles, taking out the Warp Prism, making sure that there couldn't be some kind of weird forced base trade. And then he said, okay, this is my last push. My economy's in tatters. It's kind of screwed. Let me just go try to kill you. So INnoVation with the smart move. Deer trying to bring in another funky little weirdness with that big adept play to force that situation. And it almost worked out, but INnoVation pulls through in the end.
All right, third map is going to be Ascension to Ire. It all comes down to this one. INnoVation does not want to lose this second map. He wants to win it, take first place over Classic with his loss today. Deer looking for redemption. He lost his GSL group. We've seen crazy games for game number 1 and game number 2. We're heading to that final one of the night right now, game number 3. Let's jump into it.
Here we go, game 3. Down in the bottom right, yellow Protoss player. It is, of course, Deer.
Shaking in the booth a little bit, feeling the pressure. His opponent to the top left is INnoVation. Many have called him the robot. Others have called him a multi-time champion of international events, domestic events. So many Star Leagues under his belt. The defending champion of this league, in fact. Sure, Deer was a GSL champion, but that was a long time ago, and that's the only real title he has to his name. We'll send out a very early probe again. It's going to be the gas first from INnoVation. Not changing it up at all. The robot nickname is the fitting one. We'll see this probe block the CC for a little while. Going to even check for proxies actually on his way over.
I mean, he could try to pull some weirdness himself, but doesn't have a second gas just yet.
Okay.
He's coming all the, yeah, I think definitely checking for stuff because that was definitely a weird angle to come all the way around like that. Does come in, makes his Nexus, and will just be scouting with that probe, so nothing weird. I wonder if he's going to do the same build with the Oracle, because INnoVation is preparing even more than other Terrans would. Like, other Terrans, you don't generally see that Viking coming out and having it patrolling in position just in case, but INnoVation, after game 1 where he was like, okay, it didn't work, but if I get it in position, it will be good, and after it worked in game 2, do we just see the same build out of Deer again? I mean, the Oracles, they didn't get all that much damage in that game.
I mean, that's a really good question you propose here, because I feel like what most Terrans are doing and why they don't make the Viking is because they do a Widow Mine drop. And then sometimes the Protosses react quickly, the Phoenixes come out, they lift the Widow Mine, or they went for a Robo build, they end up being fine. But because Deer is so hellbent on these strategies, it just feels like what we're seeing is pure defense from INnoVation, which is unlike him, by the way. Normally, he's the aggressor. He hits the timings. He forces mistakes. Best defense is a good offense type style. But today, the Vikings he's making, super important that Deer kind of recognizes this. I don't know if INnoVation actually clicked on that Twilight Council, but he did see it. And he gets one probe kill. But
That's a good question.
I don't know if he actually clicked on that.
He wasn't in range for all that long. I mean, these guys have pretty ridiculous APMs, as you can see underneath their names, but
I think this might be a DT drop. Robo right after the Twilight Council. Could obviously be a Glaives timing attack too. Nope, it is going to be the DTs. This is like exactly how you do it, so this is an old timing, but it's still viable. It was used in Wings of Liberty at the very end. Heart of the Swarm, this is very common. And in Legacy, it's really rare, but it can work against someone who's building an entire defensive setup to deal with a completely different build and a different concept. Though if INnoVation saw this, he should add an eBay. If he didn't, then maybe this just works because he didn't click, or maybe he assumes it's a Glaives build or something like that.
Yeah, if he sees it too, he can just save some energy as well, but I think the eBay is definitely going to be necessary eventually. I don't know. Again, it's hard for us to tell. He was in there for just maybe 0.3 seconds where he was in range of the Twilight Council. It's hard to click that in time and continue microing your Reaper. So there is the engineering bay.
I actually just don't think he saw it. but eBay does come up, as you say.
This is like basically the perfect timing of eBay.
Also, the eBay can be good against the, against the Oracle play. It's just a different path instead of taking the Viking. This time he committed to the medevac, so I think the eBay is coming up as a later method to deal with the Oracle that potentially comes in. Now, he actually attacks a natural, which still does not scout the main base. Good probe pull here. The Observer's almost out. And if he doesn't fly over to the left side, he still might be unaware. Okay, good probe pull here. Just going to have the one trigger. Okay, missile turret at the front. He must have seen. When you see the turret at the front like this, then you know he knows. But the main base, does he have one there? He does not. DT warping on the outside. Just the one. Just the one.
He's making 2 turrets. So
is he?
Yeah, there is one being built in the main right now. Looks like it should be on time. So he knows. He knows. Okay, there you go. You know, I know, he knows. Deer's about to know that he knows. And he's still going to try. DT drop, you can still get damage done even if your opponent does make missile turrets.
You can kill Marines too. Like, people always underestimate how much DTs do, and you don't have to just do economic damage. Against a Terran killing army is often even stronger because it empowers your third base, which Deer is making now. So, Blink halfway done here too. So see the struggle to find a place to build the reactor for this starport. He's like, should I make a Raven? Like
he wants that stem.
Late SCV pull. Okay, he does bring the one. Yeah, I think he could have gotten it with only the one, but why would he assume INnoVation will only pull one? Close call, though. It would have been a massive deny. And he's not losing these DTs, he's just being very careful with them. All right.
Here he comes again.
I'm going to maybe try to grab this combat shields.
This is, okay, it's still in range of the detection. I thought maybe on the corner he could force a scan, but not quite. The Blink is going to be interesting. Definitely good on a map like Odyssey, or rather Ascension to Ire, that does have this big main and can deal with
the
drops.
Observer Scout of the triple drop.
Ooh, that's
he has
nice.
Blink. He has Blink. And now he knows a lot of these units are gone. He's going to try to pick off a Marine here or there. He's actually looking to go over and intercept it right now.
He needs more Stalkers. Okay, he's warping in 3 more.
Yeah, he's going to have another gateway finished up in just a second. Can chrono boost that. Stim and combat shields finishing right now, though. Doesn't have the concussive shells, but that's not going to be as significant. He's got 2 immortals and a lot of force shields. I don't know if this attack is actually going to work out for INnoVation. Does back away. No Widow Mines with this. Oh, the DT drop for the chase here. Gets the pickup as well. Blink forward.
He really wants to force this fight. If he can pick off a couple of these medevacs, definitely he has an opportunity to. This is a long map. Just picking away at some units where he can.
Could get a medevac and then blink away. Ooh, boost. Really good job there by INnoVation. He's warping in. He wants this. Glaives are about to finish. +1's about to finish. If he actually kills this army, or maybe INnoVation doesn't have any more scans.
Another DT.
Yeah.
There's the scan, but again, there's one more. Has it in that medevac. It's back with this army. And there's the second one. So, what did he just pick up, actually? Let me see.
I think it's the Immortals.
Yeah.
Can't get the stem anymore, but could definitely remove some tech labs, some reactors, perhaps. There's only 2 barracks really producing right now. He's going to go for a big warp, and only Marauders here, which is the Immortals' favorite food. It's a known fact. Look it up in the National Geographic, but... I mean, he's just going to wait till the last second to pick up the expensive Immortals. We'll get out with everything else. And even though when you look at the supplies, you think, wow, INnoVation still has a much larger army, he's getting bullied by Deer's mobility. And Deer has a third base. INnoVation doesn't even have the concept of a third base in his main.
Nice drop here, though. He's looking to fight back. So we'll get 1 probe. The other... Vote of mine wasn't actually dropped. Okay, there it goes. It is going to be sniped, so... I
mean, Valdez, I think this might just be almost lights out. He's actually doing so much with these Immortals. He's actually evened up the army supply. The Widow Mines did virtually nothing. He still has the third base. He's got Glaives. He's going to have 1-1 to be matching the army of INnoVation
in terms
of
really
army supply.
Lead.
Yeah, gets another medevac here. I mean, INnoVation needs to find something. Perhaps take a third base as it would be step 1. If he could hold it. I mean, the aggression from Deer is real. This guy is absolutely playing out of his mind. The rumors we've been hearing, man, they're true.
The multitasking is really fantastic. I mean, being able to do this while you're doing everything else, while you're macroing at home, you know that the Terran is really desperate. You know he's moving across the map.
He's killing so many add-ons. He's going to get the reactor. Going to kill a Marauder, it looks like.
SCV pull. Deer's like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. I have a warp prism.
He's microing that while also microing over here. Doesn't prevent them from getting up the ramp.
Yeah,
Force could have been huge.
Decides not to.
He's
just going to buy time.
Yeah, he's got Medivacs. I suppose that's why. Okay. Forcing another scan. Avoiding the liberation zone over here. Perhaps by pure luck.
Okay, the fight coming down. A couple of force fields. He's fighting within those liberators. That's what lost him game 2.
INnoVation, yeah, INnoVation basically won that game off of the last fight at the end. Will we see history repeat itself? Another scan is forced. Deer just wants to buy time. He's bringing the Immortals back. Just making DT after DT. Eventually, INnoVation with only 2 orbitals will run out of scans. I even want to consider making a Raven at home, but he only has the reactor. DT going to force a fight here. Another scan. This is affecting the economy of INnoVation. He can't drop mules while he's doing this. And Deer has 3 bases. He has 60 workers to 42. The mules don't matter if you can't drop them because you're dropping scans.
He's getting Stalkers ready for the flank here on the Liberators. Let's see how he does it.
Okay, the Immortals here targeting down onto Marauders as well. The Stalkers blink in. Liberators are targeted this time. This time there's too much anti-air.
Yeah, he's killing all those Liberators, and it's enough. GG Deer able to take game number 3 and another big upset up against INnoVation. What a play.
This breaks the group wide open now. With what we saw tonight, everything in this round-robin stage could change.
Nothing makes sense. I only got one prediction right tonight.
I'm glad I missed After Hours last week because I would have been wrong too. I think all the fans could appreciate the amount of work that was put in for the underdogs this week, preparing for their best of 3s. We saw really technical matches. But I have to say, by far and above, Deer played the best tonight. He had sick builds prepared. His execution, the DT drop, the harassment we saw from the robo units, his aggression when he had the smaller army just using its mobility to harass and pull INnoVation into different directions while holding a third base all at the same time. I don't think it's a good time to be a Terran player in this matchup with how strong Phoenix Adept is and how strong large maps are for Protoss, where you can be so annoying with the backstabbing oracles, the warp prisms, the Adepts running in. Very annoying to be a Terran right now, but Deer made it look even more so.
Yeah, exactly. Specifically facing off against a Protoss player that is that good makes it seem even more annoying. That's really when the Terrans start crying, because dealing with the warp prism, a Protoss player who has enough multitasking. Generally, we talk about Terran players, and they're great multitasking. You think about TY, even Bunny nowadays, great multitasking. But now we got to think about Protoss players. Deer with his warp prisms, getting in there with the Immortals, forcing INnoVation to make a move. Just the understanding in that moment in time as well to say, like, hey, what are you going to do? Are you going to deal with my Immortals? If the answer is no, I'll warp in. And that's exactly what he did. Then INnoVation's like scrambling around. Oh, I got to take my Liberators back. And then he just kept them in the base for so long that Deer got way too far ahead. And just a couple of moves like that, and you can win a game against a strong player like INnoVation. So
Deer almost makes an argument for having blink for your DTs, too. Imagine if those DTs could blink. He goes in, blinks out, goes in, blinks out with his DTs, blinks into the main base. Like, you get ahead like that, you might even be able to make that research gain value. I mean,
maybe after the Terran takes like 4 bases, that would be 3-4 bases, something like that for sure. But Warp Prisms are just so good at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, just so good to play by. I don't even know what to say. Deer. So basically every series was an upset except Dark versus Biel, and a lot of people would argue it was supposed to be because Dark really messed up, or sorry, Biel messed up the defense there. So, yeah. I mean, look at this. So many ties now, 4-way tie basically in terms of win-loss at the top 4, and these are, every game really counts when you get into a group like this, and this is of course round robin. But INnoVation dropping down to 5th place, Solar 6th place. Not looking to be a good time right now for these guys.
2-2. That's not where you would expect him after crushing the first season of SSL Premier. So, guys, next week on July 31st, again, Monday at 7 p.m., it is going to be week 5 of SSL Premier Season 2. INnoVation versus Maru. Good match to start off with. Deer versus Biel. Hero versus Alive, Solar versus Classic, and Dark versus Stats to end the night.
That should be a great one. I will be just coming back from Busan because I will be there for the StarCraft Remaster launch. I'll be casting that with Tasteless. So it's going to be really fun to see pro gamers play the StarCraft remastered version for the first time. I've gotten to play it. You've gotten to play it a little bit. All the casters out here, we got to check it out, but it's going to be pretty sick. I can tell you guys, it looks better in person. It looks better in real HD.
It's really cool.
Than it does in the GIFs that you've seen,
Yeah.
and the posts and things like that. It looks beautiful, and I think you're all going to love it. And then right afterwards, I'm going to go play it in a PC Bong because I've got PC Bongs out here, and it comes out here first.
We're all
going to
be doing that. Everybody basically, all the casters from any game, really, not even just StarCraft. So that's going to be really cool when that does come out.
And then once that comes out, it's already been announced, the ASL and the SSL Classic, and then come back being remastered. So pretty exciting times. So this is going to be a great weekend for StarCraft as we launch the new beginning of a game that has the longest esports history in the world.
Yeah, one of the best RTSs of all time, if not the best. I know there are a lot of people out there that would definitely argue that.
You guys wouldn't be watching this tonight if that game wasn't so good so long ago.
Exactly. So excited to get into that as well, myself as a noob. But either way, guys, that's going to do it for the night. Some good StarCraft games here as well. But we'll see you next time.